Yes, Guruji. Yes, thanks.
Okay, then I'll take up the next question. Seeking, who is a seeker and what is realization? So there's a very famous quote by one of the great beings. The seeker is the sought. The seeker is the sought. Now, what is the meaning of seeker is the thought, sought? All of us are seeking. Actually, we are constant seekers in life. What are we seeking? We are seeking happiness. Everybody is after happiness. Happiness from one object or the other object. One thing or the other. All are seekers. We want happiness from the objects of the world. Now, objects of the world by themselves cannot give me happiness. I get something, immediately I start seeking something else. The seeking is constant. The project may be different. Initially, I may seek a job. Next, I seek a promotion. Next, I seek increment. Like that, I keep on looking for happiness from the objects of the world. The happiness is not there in the objects of the world. Happiness is there in the self. So one who understands the happiness is there in self, he starts seeking inwards, internally. He is called a seeker. In the outer world, one who seeks is called materialist. But both are seeking happiness. Both are seeking permanent happiness, real happiness. One person is seeking in the wrong direction, the other person is seeking the right direction. Both are seekers. Now, the seeker has to realize that he is the sought. What is the meaning of he is the sought? Who is the seeker? We have in our life, we take different identities. I am the doer, I am the enjoyer, I am the knower. The doer, knower, and enjoyer. Three identities we take. Right? When I walk, the body walks, but I say I am the doer, I am the walker. I identify the self with the walker or the body. When I'm happy, the mind is happy, but I say I am happy. That means I superimpose the happiness of the mind on the self. And when I say I know, I take the position of the knower. So karta, bhokta, gnata, these are three positions which ego takes. Now, who is the seeker? Ego is the seeker. Ego is identifying the conscious self with the inert body, mind, and intellect, and says and feels unhappy because it feels limited. The ego or the jiva, ego is the jiva. So now ego is the one who is seeking. What is seeking? Happiness, permanent happiness, eternal happiness is seeking. Is it possible? Is it practical? It's not practical. No matter how hard you try, you will not get eternal happiness and peace in the external world. Can you please mute me, Jayashree? So that eternal peace and happiness can happen only by recognizing. For whom it can happen? For the knower, the doer, or the enjoyer, karta, bhokta, or gnata. So karta is a body. He cannot know. He cannot be peaceful. Body is the inert element. Bhokta is the mind. The mind also cannot get inner peace. The whole search is for the gnata, knower. Knower is searching. I want peace because knower is driving the karta and bhokta. Knower is the boss. The intellect is the boss. Karta and bhokta, the knower, gnata, is the boss. So now, it is the gnata or the knower who has to find. This knower, gnata, is there in our waking state, dream state, deep sleep state. In the deep sleep state, gnata, the knower, is called pradna. So what is there to know in the deep sleep state? The pradna cannot know anything. To know something, you need a mind and the body. Instruments are required. The intellect, mind, and body are dormant in deep sleep. So the pradna is a hypothetical knower. The pradna has no means of knowing anything in deep sleep. So the pradna is a dormant knower in deep sleep. The pradna, when the waking state, he becomes the overt knower. He becomes the pramata knower. So now Upanishad, Mandukya Upanishad says, I am Atma Brahma. This self is Brahman. This self is referring to Karta, Bhokta, Gnata, three of the three. It is referring to Gnata. For Gnata, the teaching is there. I am, myself is Brahman, the knower. Knower has to know. Knower has the ignorance. Knower has to know. So the knower has to know that myself is Brahman. Now, which self is this? The self in you is called Pratyagatma, or the innermost self. So the Rishi is touching his chest and says, I am Atma Brahma. This self is Brahman. That means he is referring to the body and he is referring to the self. Now the body is not self, we all of us know. My shirt is not the self. My chest is not the self. Then what he is referring is the innermost self. The innermost reality, which is free from all objective reality, that self he is referring to. So that innermost reality, free from all objects, you can sleep, you can experience in deep sleep. There's no body, there's no mind, there's no intellect. There's pure awareness in deep sleep. That self is Brahman, he's saying. Now, whom is the teaching? Not for the pradna. Pradna cannot understand. Deep sleep person doesn't understand. Deep sleep person cannot have jnana or adnana. But whatever jnana and adnana he acquired in the waking state is still there in the vasana. So the deep sleep pradna takes the form of a knower, pramata, in the waking state. He associates himself with the ego. I thought. So then he says, I am the knower. And the knower says, I have ignorance. I don't know I am Brahman. So for him is the teaching, Tattvamasi, you are Brahman. Aham Brahmasmi, I am Atma Brahma. The teaching is for the knower in the waking state. Pramata in the no waking state. Okay. So the knower has to know he is the Brahman or he is the Pratyagatma in deep sleep state. That means in deep sleep state, there's no body, there's no mind, no intellect. Knower has to know body, mind, and intellect in the waking state are not you. You are the mithya. And what remains is the Pratyagatma, the Sakshi self, which is there in the waking state, dream state, deep sleep state. The knower in the waking state has to know, I am Brahman, I am the Sakshi, who is there in the waking state, dream state, deep sleep state. I am the Pratyagatma. And that Pratyagatma is Brahman. Brahman doesn't mean, Brahman means here all pervading, limitless, no limit, not limited by time, not limited by space, not limited by objects. So that understanding has to come to the waking state person, Brahmatru. So then what is the waking state person has to know? He is the seeker because he is seeking for happiness. Nata is seeking happiness. Pramatru is seeking for happiness. The Pramatru has to know, I am the Pradna in deep sleep state. And there is real Atma, Pratyagatma. I am the Pratyagatma. The seeker is the sought. Pratyagatma. I am the Pratyagatma. This jnana has to, understanding has to come, clarity has to come to the waking person. That's why it said seeker is the sought. Does that answer your question? Anybody has any questions? Follow-up question, guys. So, Shravan, can you repeat the question?
So, what is the disappearance of Ahankara and how is it related to the seeker's disappearance of the seeker and the relation?
How does the seeker disappear when the sought is really realized, right? That's the question.
Right. And how do we know that?
That you know. Okay. See, how do you know that you have a toothache is gone? You only know the toothache is gone, right?
Yes. Yes.
So like that, when your suffering disappears, you know that it has disappeared. You may have false disappearance of suffering, but it will come back again. The toothache, one day it goes, next day it will come back. Like that, suffering in life may appear temporarily, disappear, but it will appear again in the form of doubt, in the form of confusion, in the form of questions, in the form of suffering. So who will know that? It's you, only the seeker will know. Now let us understand, seeker is sought, will understand a little bit more clearly. Okay. Yeah. I told the pradna is the knower. Dormant knower in deep sleep. Okay, that dormant knower has no ability to know anything because the mind and intellect are silent. The body is not there. Instrument of knowledge is not there. Now the pradna is none other than the sakshi, the witness in the deep sleep. Because witness is illuminating the deep sleep state. But the pradna doesn't know. Pradna has no means of knowing. So pradna wakes up, and the waking state, he identifies the ego. He becomes the gnata or pramata. Now, entire teaching is for the gnata or pramata, that you are Brahman. Tattvamasi is the teaching given to gnata. So what is the teaching involved? Teaching involves two stages. O gnata or pramata, knower, you are none other than the pradna in the deep sleep. Pradna in the deep sleep only you have appeared as a waker. In the deep sleep, the pradna is one with the sakshi, the atma. And that is called pratyekatma. The pratyekatma is Brahman. So that you have to understand. So like that you trace back. So gnata, to trace back to pradna, pradna you trace back to pratyekatma, pratyekatma is Brahman. You have to trace back. So now the seeker is the sought. Who is the seeker? The knower is the sought. Knower. I am the knower. And knower only has ignorance. Right? Atma has no ignorance. The pradna has ignorance, but it's dormant. The all teaching of Vedanta, every single teaching is for the waking guy, waking knower, not even doer or not even doer or enjoyer, not to the karta, not to bhokta. The problem is always the knower. Knower is the boss. So the teaching is for the knower. Ignorance has to be removed from the knower. Now you have to remove the ignorance by making him understand that you are nothing but pradna, and pradna is nothing but pratyekatma. Pratyekatma is Brahman or Turyagatma. That teaching has to be given to waking state guy. So this is the systematic teaching. Now who is the seeker? The knower in the waking state is seeker. And how the knower will know himself? The knower has two components. The intellect, the knower is called jiva. Jiva has two components. Intellect with the reflection of consciousness called chidabhasa. Intellect with the reflection of consciousness called chidabhasa is the knower. Right? Any knowledge happens to this combination. Chidabhasa cannot know, intellect cannot know. When they are together, only their knowledge happens. Right? So in Nirvikala Samadhi, we want to make the intellect silent. So Chidabhasa also disappears or goes to dormant conditions. So no knowledge takes place. The knowledge has to happen to waking state guy, where Chidabhasa intellect combination is working properly. How? What kind of knowledge is that? The knowledge is the knower has the ignorance that I am the body, I am the mind, I am the intellect. That means knower is qualified knowledge, qualified by the body, mind, intellect. Knower has a qualified knowledge. The name and form is superimposed on the knower. So you have to tell the knower that you are the unqualified knowledge. Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma. You are the unqualified knowledge. You are remove your qualifications of knowledge. Who knows? I know. Who is that? No, I, body. No, remove their body. Who knows? I know. I know intellect. Intellect is a thought. So this thought appears and disappears. You focus on the awareness part, which is illuminating the appearance and disappearance of thought. That awareness is anantam. It's always there. It's not limited by thought. So we have to strip off the what you call as the name and form from the knower. That is the process of neti, not the body, not the mind, not the intellect. Name and form has to be removed. Now, how the name and form can be removed? The gnata, the knower, has to get a clarity. I am Brahman. I am the limitless self. With that, he has to go and meditate. Now, why you are the limitless self? You have to understand. Because the self is the knowing principle. The gnata, karta, and bhokta, they come and go. In the waking state, gnata, karta, bhokta come. They come and dance and go in the waking state. The body and mind and intellect and the world appears in the waking state. So gnata, karta, bhokta is there in the dream state. But in dream state, nothing is there. But you are there in all the three states. With this logic, with this viveka, you have to understand you are really the knowing principle, not the gnata. Gnata is the qualified knowledge. So this understanding clarity has to emerge consciously in the intellectual mind first. Chidabhasa need not disappear. The intellectual clarity by separating out the knowing principle from the what you call as the form of the knowing principle. name and form. Then what remains is the pure knowing, which is there in the waking state, dream state, deep sleep state. That's called Sakshi. I am that Sakshi, that understanding has to happen. Now, it doesn't require disappearance of Chidabhasa. It doesn't require disappearance of intellect. It doesn't require disappearance of body, mind, and intellect. It requires a clarity why body, mind, and intellect and name and form are mithya. The clarity of mithya, the unreality of a manifest world has to be very clear. When the unreality is clear, the intellect is there, body is there, mind is there, intellect is there, then they become irrelevant. You don't have to make them disappear. They have to become irrelevant by mityatva dnana. Mityatva dnana has to go deep. So two parts to be very clear to you. Aham Brahmasmi has to be clear to you. Jagan Mithya has to be clear to you. Jagan Mithya will nullify the manifest world. It doesn't remove the manifest world. Understand? If Jagan Mithya, intellect is also Mithya, is not clear to you, the relation is not full. They are counterparts. So then, when you realize intellect is Mithya and I am Brahman, there's a deep peace within you. It is not, doesn't require removal of Chidabhasa. It doesn't require removal of intellect. Removal of Chidabhasa, people are trying through Nirvikalpa Samadhi. This is Jnana Samadhi, where intellect becomes silent. Now, intellect you are negating, you are not removing, negating as Mithya. When you negate intellect as Mithya, Brahma Satya, Jagan Mithya, Aham Brahmasmi is fully established. Negate the intellect, don't remove the intellect.
So negating intellect means knower should recognize that seeker is not, he should separate seekership from him.
Seekership is related to the body and mind, of name and form.
But the knower is intact.
The knower is nothing but the knowing principle, the light. Chidabhasa is nothing but Sakshi, Atma, Brahman.
Oh, okay. So when the seeker is satisfied from knower doesn't be, there is no knower, but there is knowing principle alone.
Knower is satisfied, but he knows that he is false. Knower knows that he is the shadow.
In other words, knower knows that he became a knower, but it's the knowing principle which became knower.
Knowing principle appeared as a knower. It's like water appeared as a wave. There's no water has not changed into wave.
Okay.
Right? See, please understand here the subtlety. Okay. All the spiritual seekers are trying to make the mind silent. Okay. And make Chidabhasa disappear. That's like almost like going to sleep. And there's no knowledge possible. You don't have to negate, you don't have to remove the intellect. You have to negate the intellect through Mithyatva Dnana, clarity of Mithyatva. You have to understand I am Satya, I am Brahman through clarity of Atma Dnana. So this negation process or Mithyatva makes the intellect silent. Now intellect is silent now. Now you have become, now even the thoughts are there, the thoughts are actually Mithya thoughts. You are not bothered about them. It is like a shadow, right? You and your shadow. Earlier you are thinking your shadow. I am the shadow. So all spiritual sadhana is to bury that shadow. Somebody says, I am buried in the shadow. He digs a grave and buries the shadow. The next moment he sees the shadow chasing him. You don't have to dig the grave for the shadow. You don't have to bury the shadow. You have to understand shadow is not me. That is Brahmadnana. Am I clear?
Yes. So I was connecting it to that question of Brahmakara Vritti being dropped.
Yeah.
After knowing that there's no need for that.
Okay, let's go to Brahmakara Vritti, right?
Yeah.
So now, spiritual journey involves absolute crystal clarity through Shravana and Manana. I am Brahman. Okay? That conscious clarity is very important. Right? If the conscious mind doesn't accept something, subconscious mind will not accept. Subconscious mind is the boss in that sense. So conscious clarity through Shravana, Manana has to be fully established that I am Brahman. Okay, this is not just a pure understanding. The Vedanta Vakyas are many Vedantic teachings are there. All Vedantic teachings have to sink in. It's not just understanding one sentence, Aham Brahmasmi, Tattvamasi. The entire teaching of Vedanta has to sink in. That crystal clarity emerges based on Vedantic teaching, I am Brahman. That's called conscious learning. Now, with the conscious learning, you are able to face subconscious. You sit in Nididhyasa. I am Brahman, Aham Brahmasmi. That Aham Brahmasmi called what Aham Brahmasmi Vritti is called Brahmakara Vritti. You have to hold the Brahmakara thought. Earlier you are holding thought called I am Brahma, I am body, I am man, I am woman, or you are holding a thought, I am seeker, I am not realized. Now all those thoughts you have to hold with the Brahmakara Vritti. So a thought comes, I am seeker. So you have to remove, I am not seeker, I am Brahman. Like that, now what will happen? That thought which you're holding consciously will start going into deep subconscious. All your identities, childhood identity, I was so and so, I did this and that, I got married, all those identities start dissolving. The conscious mind and subconscious mind becomes integrated as whole. The conscious learning has gone to subconscious learning. When you learn the driving consciously, it's a lot of struggle. So then when you practice it, it goes to subconscious learning. And then wherever you drive, there's no problem. Conscious mind, subconscious mind will cooperate. So like that, your conscious learning, Aham Brahmasmi, has to go into deep into subconscious with Brahmakara Vritti. After that, it's irrelevant. It's like after you learn the driving class, you paid some money to driving school. You learn driving class. That's a conscious learning. You have to struggle. Where is the steering wheel? Where is the gear? After driving is over, learning is over. Now you can drive anywhere. Now you can look somewhere. Conscious part you can use anywhere. Like that, Jivan Mukta, conscious mind, he can go anywhere for him. Subconscious mind is driving now. Subconscious mind is integrated with the conscious thought called Aham Brahmasmi. So now that Aham Brahmasmi thought, a conscious thought becomes irrelevant. It has become subconscious thought. Just like for you right now, there's no conscious thought called I am man. It's a subconscious thought. Okay, you don't have to remember I am Brahman. I am man. Like that, I am Brahman. Remembrance is not required, and it has got deep into subconscious. It has eliminated all other identities. Am I clear? Then
Yes.
Brahmakara Vritti becomes irrelevant.
Okay, so it is not dropped, but it becomes irrelevant because it's goes into subconscious. So that's the way of saying.
Everything in Vedanta is actually making mithya as irrelevant. Your intellect is irrelevant, body is irrelevant, Brahmakara Vritti is also irrelevant.
Yeah, I think irrelevant is the right word, right?
Irrelevant.
Dropping is confusing. Yeah.
Yeah, dropping is confusing, right? It's an example. Somebody has a disease. For disease, a medicine is given. When the disease goes, the medicine is no longer required. So similarly, Brahmakara Vritti becomes irrelevant or not required when you are fully, you are deep within, you are convinced that you are Brahman. So we are walking, you are Brahman, talking, you are Brahman, you don't need to remember. Brahmakara Vritti is no longer required there. Am I clear?
Yes, I think this is clear.
Okay.
Very good. Thanks.
Okay. So there is a question which is seeker and seeker. No, seeker is sought means knower is known. Correct. See, knower. Let us understand. The seeker is sought means we'll understand. Okay. Seeker is sought and knower is known. So this we have to understand. This comes very clearly in Mandukya Upanishad. Mandukya Upanishad first says, I am Atma Brahma. To the knower, you are saying you are Brahman. Pradna is nothing but Pratyekatma is Brahman. The teaching is given to waking state guy. Seeker is sought. Okay. Brahman, what is the meaning of Brahman? Brahman means infinity. What seeker is seeking? I am seeking infinite. No. That means I am seeking Brahman. What is seeker looking for? He is looking for infinite happiness, peace. That's the meaning of that is Brahman. Seeker is sought means Brahman. You are Brahman is the teaching. Now, seeker is the knower. In front of the knower, this whole world is there. A big world. Universe is there. I am separate from the universe. There is a feeling. My problem is the universe actually. I am a small individual. Universe is big. I am the knower and universe is known. Right? I feel very small in front of the universe. I am a limited entity. That's my problem. Seeker is sought means knower is known also. I am the knower and universe is known. So that's why Upanishad converts immediately known universe into Brahman. The known universe, he said, Sarvam Khalu Brahma. Whatever you see, the known is nothing but Brahman. Infinite. And it says, I am Atma Brahma. You are also Brahman. So the equation matches now. So your problem is not Ishvara or Brahman. Your problem is the world. There's a big world which is known to me. I am limited by the known world. So the knower and known are one. The world is also Brahman. You are also Brahman. That's why knower is known. Seeker is what also means knower is known. How the world is Brahman? When you ignore the name and form, the world is nothing but existence. Existence is Brahman. Am I clear? Is that question answered?